Well, we go to the main event, Swerve Strickland and Will Ospreay for the AEW Championship, and Ospreay's theme is preceded with a montage of clips mixing in Hayabusa and Ospreay back and forth. And then when his music plays, this place goes insane. And he comes out, he's got a Hayabusa-inspired mask on, and he is dedicating this match to his grandmother who passed away earlier this week. So he comes out, great entrance, and then out comes rapper Jim Jones to introduce Swerve. And
did you ever expect the Hayabusa highlight reel to be followed by Dipset?
I mean, they go together so naturally that I figured it was about time. What I was not expecting, though, was Jim Ross to give us an update on Jim Jones as he went to... This was not on camera, so this man was probably, thank God no one saw this. Jim Ross saw this, and he explains that Jim Jones tried to hop the guardrail to go to his seat, and I just saw Jim Jones fall right on his ass.
Oh, oh no.
I wish we had seen a replay of this, but it seems like he took a tumble trying to get over the guardrail. This crowd was red hot before the bell even rang, and they're chanting AEW, and they would do it throughout the match at different points, and the crowd is just on their feet as they start off at a great pace. They're both dodging one another, going for counters and head kicks, and Ospreay climbs onto the top of the guardrail and is knocked off. Both end up on the top, and Ospreay hits a Rana off of the guardrail. So Swerve comes back. He's working on the back, tries for a short arm scissors, and Ospreay catches him with a Styles Clash for a 2 count. And they show Daniel Garcia seated way up. He obviously waited late. He could not get a great ticket, so he had to sit in the up in the balcony. They battle on the top. Swerve hits an angle slam off of the top turnbuckle. And at one point, like, the crowd is pretty animated, and you just hear Jim Ross, "Get this guy behind us another beer, would you?" And Taz is like, "Yeah, maybe you could get a muzzle." Goddamn wrestling fans cheering and screaming.
I mean, we couldn't hear. They must have been saying something pretty like.
They must have been really aggravating, because how many people have been screaming behind these announcers like Jim Ross for 50 years, and this one was, "Just get this guy another beer, would you?" So Oscutter gets missed on the edge of the apron, and then he rolls to the floor, avoiding a Swerve stomp. So Swerve just turns on the top and leaps into the air for a Swerve stomp that lands on the Spanish desk. This was nuts. So he continues. There's a springboard cutter by Ospreay into the Oscutter for a 2 count, and he goes for the hidden blade, and Swerve gets his forearms up to block it. So Swerve sidesteps another Oscutter, tries to snap the arm, and then Will hits the Stormbreaker. Huge near fall for this. And they cut to the back, and there is MJF watching the match, thinking, "Man, I should have entered this Owen Hart tournament."
Oh, he had bigger fish to fry in Hechicero. Yeah.
Ospreay then calls for the Tiger Driver 91, but it gets countered, and Swerve hits his own hidden blade.
He literally called for it. He's like,
Tiger Driver
91. Yeah,
took too long. We would have gotten there ourselves. Will. The Swerve stomp is missed, and then there's a hidden blade by Will. Swerve ducks, and he takes out Paul Turner. So he's out. There's another hidden blade by Ospreay, but the ref is down. So Don Callis shows up with a screwdriver, and he passes it, and Ospreay's conflicted. He doesn't know if he should use this screwdriver or not. So Prince Nana shoves Don Callis, who sells this like he was hit by a tornado. And the announcers explain, Prince Nana is not a strong man. I think Don Callis is overselling it. But Ospreay grabs Nana, and he is about to stab him with the screwdriver. But he decides to toss away the screwdriver, and he rolls into the ring right into a house call, followed by the Swerve stomp when Aubrey runs in and Ospreay kicks out. Place goes wild. He snaps the arm, hits another house call, and yet Ospreay kicks out one more time. So Ospreay is almost out on his feet. He collapses in the arms of Swerve and is hit with one more house call, followed by the big pressure, and Swerve wins in 27 minutes and 5 seconds. Afterward, like, this was almost played up like you would get like right after a championship fight where the champion comes over and he has words for the challenger, and Ospreay is devastated while Swerve is on top of the world, and Kyle Fletcher is out to console Ospreay, and Jim Ross says, "I just hope we are lucky enough to see a rematch one day." Excellent match of the show, easily for me.
Yes, on a show that had a lot of very good wrestling on it. I mean, when you talk about big pressure, like these two had the weight of the world on their shoulders to deliver a match of unbelievable quality that could main event a show, or perhaps containing like the deepest combined roster any wrestling show has ever had. And I thought they didn't only just like deliver a great physical contest with like great looking sequences and great execution of all their moves. They did it in like a really well constructed narrative, you know, with some very great near falls. I think this is the type of booking that helps cement Swerve as a legitimate champion in audiences' eyes, and really not just in storyline, but like in real world perception. Like he needed a match like this that is a match of the year contender to continue to remind audiences that he is one of the best in-ring performers of the entire world. Now possibly responsible for what might be another match of the year contender or even winner, you know, by the end of this. We'll see about that. This was Swerve performing at his best, but for Will Ospreay, I mean, it's incredibly rare that you have a talent that is so over, so unbelievably good, you can choose to delay his championship win because it's no risk. Like he can win the title now, as a lot of people I think might have actually wanted for tonight, but like him winning the championship a year from now is only like making maybe like the audience sort of salivate for the thing that they want that much more, because he's such a sure thing. There's really no risk of like missing the timing with Will Ospreay because he's that consistent. So he continues to at this point cement a legacy where he's, to me, not just be seen as like the greatest wrestler of the year, not just the greatest wrestler of the generation, but you can now make an argument very convincingly that he might be the best in-ring performer of all time. And as good as his in-ring is, it's the charisma, it's the promo, it's the storytelling that I think are like new wrinkles to his game that we're starting to see right now during this AEW run. Great main event to, I think, certainly one of the shows of the year that we'll be talking about by the end.
Yeah, by the end of this show, I thought it was a very good show. I don't know if it was at the level of the prior two that I thought were legit like show of the year contenders, and maybe this will. I thought this main event was terrific. This was like an unbelievable main event overall. I would say that was the match of the show to me, followed by I thought Danielson and Shingo, Zach and Orange, and Mercedes and Stephanie Vacour. Like I would add those two. The Mystico Lucha Brothers match with LIJ on the 0 hour. Like this was a good show.